3:15 a.m. Cayley Road, Tunbridge Wells. A front door explodes off its hinges. 13 men flood in, faces masked, adrenaline spiking. Cannabis plants go flying as boots thunder through the hallway. Frantic 999 call with audio, distorted and urgent. Help me! Help me! They're going to kill me. But wait, that's not the victim calling for help. That's one of the attackers. And he's about to accidentally record his own murder confession to police. Stab him! Stab him now! These were the words captured on emergency services recording. 13 Essex criminals thought they were robbing a cannabis farm. They had no idea they'd just declared war on Albanian organized crime. By sunrise, one man is dead behind a locked metal gate, and the killers have just handed police the most damning evidence in British criminal history. In the next few minutes, you'll hear how 13 apex predators walked into what they thought was a simple cannabis robbery and accidentally created the most damning evidence in British criminal history. One phone call. One recorded conversation. 100 years of combined prison sentences. This is Crime Scene Chronicles. And you're about to witness criminal stupidity so catastrophic, it redefined how British police solve murders. December 4, 2021. 13 hardened criminals from Essex load into multiple vehicles like a military operation. This isn't some opportunistic street crime. This is organized, calculated, and violent. Kieran Stewart, 20 years old, seasoned criminal. Kelvin Amoko, just 18, already deep in the game. Bartosz Malorski, 28, the muscle. Together with 10 others, they're about to make the biggest mistake of their lives. They think they're apex predators hunting easy prey. They have no idea they're about to walk into a trap set by people who make their violence look like child's play. Cayley Road, Tunbridge Wells. To any passing driver, it's just another suburban house. But behind those innocent-looking windows lies a sophisticated cannabis operation worth hundreds of thousands of pounds. The Essex crew has done their homework. They know about the plants. They know about the money. What they don't know is that this house is protected by Albanian organized crime, a network that has turned extreme violence into an art form. If you're ready for a story where the criminals do the police's job for them, hit that subscribe button. Because what happens next rewrites British criminal justice history. 3:15 a.m. The attack begins like a scene from a heist movie. 13 men descend on the property with military precision. Cannabis plants are ripped from their roots, tossed into vehicles, scattered across the street in their desperation to grab everything valuable. For the first few minutes, it's going perfectly. They're loading tens of thousands of pounds worth of premium cannabis. This is easy money. This is what they came for. Then they hear footsteps. Kovin Pepai, 25 years old. Albanian. And he's not running. See, what the Essex crew doesn't understand is that in Albanian organized crime, reputation is everything. Territory is sacred. And theft? Theft is answered with blood. Pepai doesn't see 13 attackers and surrender. He sees 13 men who've just declared war on his operation, his people, his honor. And in that culture, there's only one response. Here's where this story takes a turn that nobody, not the criminals, not the police, not the prosecutors, could have predicted. In the chaos of the confrontation, the hunters become the hunted. The Essex crew finds themselves trapped upstairs with their victim behind a locked metal gate that runs from floor to ceiling. What was supposed to be a quick smash and grab has become a confined space battle to the death. What happens next behind that locked gate will create evidence so damning, so impossible to deny, that it will rewrite how British courts handle organized crime cases forever. Trapped behind that metal gate, with violence erupting around him, Kieran Stewart makes a decision that will haunt him for the rest of his life. He's scared. He's panicking. And he does what terrified people do, he calls 999 for help. Emergency services. What could go wrong? Everything. Picture this. You're a 999 call handler trained to deal with emergencies. The phone rings. Someone's screaming for help. You hit record, standard procedure for all emergency calls. What you don't expect is to become the star witness in a murder trial. Because Kieran Stewart doesn't just call for help. While that phone line is open, while emergency services are listening, while everything is being recorded for evidence, he can be heard shouting to his accomplice Kelvin Amoko, "Stab Mr. Pepai." The 999 operator just recorded a murder instruction. In real time. With crystal clear audio quality. But it gets worse for the Essex crew. That call doesn't just capture the murder instruction. It captures the actual attack. The sounds of violence. Pepai's final moments. The aftermath. The panic. Ladies and gentlemen, in my years covering true crime, I have never seen criminals hand police evidence this powerful on a silver platter. This isn't circumstantial evidence. This isn't witness testimony that can be questioned. This is a live audio recording of conspirators directing and committing murder, gift-wrapped for prosecutors. Kelvin Pepai, 25 years old, dies from multiple stab wounds behind that locked metal gate. Fire crews will later have to break through that barrier to reach his body. He fought. He resisted. But trapped in that confined space with 3 killers, there was no escape. The Cannabis robbery is complete. The murder is complete. And the evidence? The evidence is already in police hands, recorded by their own emergency services, starring the killers themselves. You might think that after committing murder, normal human beings would feel remorse. Fear. Panic. Maybe try to cover their tracks. You'd be wrong. Video footage shows some of the Essex crew driving away from Kelvin Pepai's lifeless body, and they're laughing, bragging, celebrating their stolen cannabis haul like they've just won the lottery. They've just stabbed a man to death, and they're having the time of their lives. This footage, which they filmed themselves, will later be played in court to show judges and juries exactly what kind of people they're dealing with. But while the killers are celebrating, the wheels of justice are already turning at lightning speed. That 999 call? It's already being analyzed. The victim's body? Already being processed by forensics. The crime scene? Already yielding DNA, fingerprints, and evidence. Within 24 hours, not weeks, not months, but 24 hours, 5 suspects are in custody. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. As detectives dig deeper, they uncover something that shocks even seasoned organized crime investigators. This wasn't just 13 random criminals. This was a sophisticated network with planning, coordination, and connections spanning multiple counties. Phone records, social media posts, travel data, CCTV footage, financial records. The digital footprint these criminals left behind reads like a step-by-step guide to solving their own case. One by one, they fall. 5 arrests become 8. 8 becomes 10. 10 becomes 13. Every single person involved in this operation is identified, located, and arrested. If you're fascinated by how modern police work can unravel even the most complex criminal networks, you absolutely need to subscribe to Crime Scene Chronicles. We dive deep into the investigative techniques that solve cases like this, and trust me, this story is just getting started. Because what happens next in the courtroom will create legal history. The British justice system has handled some complex cases, but 13 defendants for the same murder? This breaks new ground. The original plan, a super court in Loughborough designed for massive criminal trials. The reality, even specialized courts can't handle this level of criminal conspiracy fairly. The solution, split the case into 2 separate trials. May 2023 at the Old Bailey for the main killers. October 2023 at Lewis Crown Court for the rest of the network. But here's where this case becomes absolutely explosive. The prosecution doesn't just have that 999 call. They have everything. Video footage of the celebrations. Phone records proving coordination. Social media posts showing the planning. DNA evidence from the crime scene. The defense attorneys are walking into a courtroom with clients who have essentially prosecuted themselves. And the results? Absolutely devastating. Kieran Stewart, the man who called 999 and directed the killing, life imprisonment with a minimum of 26 years. At 20 years old, he won't see freedom until he's nearly 50. Kelvin Amoko, the 18-year-old who carried out the stabbing, life imprisonment with a minimum of 22 years. His teenage years behind bars, followed by decades more. Bartosz Malorski, the third killer, life imprisonment with a minimum of 22 years. But the justice doesn't stop there. This case creates a legal precedent that shocks the criminal underworld. Nathan Rainforth, 7.5 years for manslaughter. Dante Simpson Palmer, 6 years for manslaughter. Ray Render, 6 years for manslaughter. Charles Riley, 10 years for conspiracy to rob. Mohammed Mia, 6.5 years for conspiracy to rob. Jonathan Hedges, Fabian Simula, Nathan Turner, Zach Cutting, Glenn Huff, every single person involved gets prison time. The total sentences exceed 100 years combined. Not one person involved in this operation walks free. Detective Superintendent Gavin Moss delivers a statement that sends shockwaves through organized crime networks across Britain. We will find everyone involved. We will prosecute everyone involved. There is no such thing as a small role in a murder conspiracy. This case doesn't just solve one murder. It dismantles an entire criminal network and sends a message that reverberates through every grow house, every drug operation, every criminal enterprise in the UK. Modern policing, combined with criminals stupid enough to record their own crimes, equals inevitable justice. If cases like this fascinate you, where criminals literally solve their own cases through sheer stupidity, then Crime Scene Chronicles is your home. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and give this video a like because we're just getting started with stories that will blow your mind. This case exposes something terrifying about modern organized crime in Britain. It's not just about Albanian networks or Essex crews. It's about how territorial disputes over drug operations have escalated to military-level violence. The Essex crew thought they were robbing a grow house. They were actually declaring war on Albanian organized crime. In that world, theft isn't just theft, it's disrespect that demands blood. But here's the twist that makes this case legendary. They solved their own murder through sheer criminal incompetence. Every phone call recorded. Every social media post archived. Every movement tracked. Every celebration filmed. These criminals created a digital evidence trail so comprehensive that prosecutors probably could have solved this case with their eyes closed. The 999 call alone would have been enough for murder convictions. But they gave police everything: the planning, the execution, the celebration, the coordination. They basically wrote their own arrest warrants. This is what happens when old-school criminal mentality meets modern surveillance technology. The results are devastating for the criminals and fascinating for those of us who study true crime. 13 men thought they were apex predators hunting easy prey. Instead, they became a cautionary tale about what happens when criminal arrogance meets Albanian justice and modern policing. Kovan Pepai lost his life defending what he saw as his territory and honor. His death triggered a legal earthquake that dismantled an entire criminal network and sent shockwaves through organized crime across Britain. The criminals in this case literally recorded their own murder confession and celebrated their crime on video. The question isn't whether justice was served. The question is, how many other criminal networks are out there right now, stupid enough to solve their own cases? Thanks for watching Crime Scene Chronicles. If this case grabbed you like it grabbed me, You'll love our other deep dives into organized crime cases where criminals basically prosecute themselves. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, and let me know in the comments, what's the stupidest criminal mistake you've ever heard of? I will be reading every comment. Your suggestions help drive our next investigations. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, sometimes the best detectives are the criminals themselves.